Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. So, Rocket League just rolled out this new update, and there is actually a pretty solid mix of gameplay changes, quality of life stuff, and a long list of bug fixes in here. The first thing that stands out is the kickoff change. If a team is down a player, that team now gets a more favorable starting position when the kickoff happens, which should make those uneven situations feel a little less punishing. That is a pretty interesting adjustment because it does not completely remove the disadvantage of being shorthanded, but it does give the weaker side a better chance to actually contest the ball instead of just getting buried right away. It feels like one of those changes that sounds simple, but in practice, it could have a real effect on close games, especially in ranked where every little opening matters. Uh, they also added a little more flexibility around free play by letting Snow Day and Rumble arenas be played with soccer, which is the kind of thing that sounds niche until you remember how often players use free play just to mess around, warm up, or test weird movement routes. There is also some backend stuff in here that will matter more to creators, tools, and maybe the more technical side of the community. The Stats API now supports WebSocket connections, and it also supports issuing game commands through that API. That is a big deal for anything that wants live data or faster interaction without constantly polling for updates. On top of that, Xbox Rich Presence got improved and post-party support was removed. For most players, that probably just means the social and presence features should be a little cleaner on Xbox, while one older feature is being retired. Nothing wild there, but it does show the update is not just about gameplay. It is also cleaning up some of the surrounding systems that support the game. Privacy got some real attention too. If you use streamer mode, recent players now show up after the match instead of at the beginning, which is a nice little change for anyone trying to keep things a bit more private while still being able to review who was in the lobby afterward. And hidden identities now go further than before, since banners, titles, and avatars are also concealed now. That should make streamer mode actually feel more complete instead of only hiding part of the picture. I think that is the kind of tweak a lot of streamers and content creators will appreciate immediately, because the whole point of that mode is to reduce the chance of exposing extra info on screen by accident. They also made some performance and stability improvements, including fewer Error 71 occurrences in ranked doubles and lower crash frequency on Nintendo Switch, which is always welcome because nobody wants their session wrecked by random instability in the middle of a match. There are a few visual changes in here as well. Console rendering quality was improved and the lighting in the Futura main menu was adjusted. Those are the kinds of details that you might not notice in a dramatic way right away, but they add up, especially when you spend a lot of time in menus, garage screens, and pre-match lobbies. Then the bug fixes get pretty extensive. They fixed a launch issue where easy anti-cheat would briefly appear before the game closed, which sounds like one of those annoying problems that would make players think the game was loading normally right up until it was not. They also fixed a PC freeze or crash when opening settings or starting training in free play, plus PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 crashes tied to loading saved user data, a Nintendo Switch 2 crew crash in the garage body category, and a PlayStation 5 crash when loading garage item thumbnails. That is a lot of platform-specific cleanup, and it suggests the update was working through some pretty scattered reliability issues. Gameplay fixes got some attention too, including the weird issue where players could spawn on the wrong side of the field after being demolished, and the missing player name problem when joining matchmaking sessions. The privacy fixes go deeper as well, since teammate and opponent anonymization was tightened across several gameplay areas, and Steam profile pictures will no longer show up on teammate score banners while streamer mode is active. Then there is the cosmetic side, which is where the update gets a little more fun to talk about because it is all the tiny visual stuff people notice without always realizing why. They fixed goal explosions clipping into the floor on Loophole, Dunk House, and The Block. They corrected decal lighting differences between the shop, garage, and gameplay. They fixed the Bit Crush rocket boost always showing a lens flare effect, cleaned up pixelated field lines near players on several arenas, stopped the goal frame from showing through the chomp goal explosion, and corrected the animation timing on Demigodly. Even the UI got a cleanup pass with fixes for the HUD reappearing after being hidden, Xbox Rich Presence not updating in the in-game social menu, the esports button showing the wrong World Cup label, placeholder text on an event reward, a cut-off special FX glyph in replays, the main menu carousel stretching too far, and replay director camera problems on older Parc de Paris replays. So overall, this feels like a patch that is not trying to reinvent the game, is just making a bunch of the rough edges less annoying, and that kind of update matters way more than people sometimes give it credit for.